Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Today we will be talking about a very important area of our lives, and which if it is weak, it is not strong, then it has the tendency or the capability to have severe repercussions on it. And that area of our lives is the ability to think and to think right. Now we can debate to what is right and what is wrong. However, both religion as well as society has identified certain things that or certain actions that we do which can be bucketed into either the immoral or unethical or unacceptable. And so there is some overlap between what religion or theology or even spiritual practices tell us and what society tells us of what to do and what not to do. So for example, not to greed, not to tell lies. There are certain things which society and religion or spirituality agrees on, and they say that these are things that we should not do. And whether religion says it or not, whether civil society says it or not, even our conscience sometimes pricks us if we are not able to adhere to some good actions as they have been described both by the holy books as well as by society. Some of it can be said that it is programmed in us and that's why we think that way. However, it is seen that certain acts are definitely disruptive and create an imbalance in society and with serious and negative consequences, and so we should avoid those things. And they are all related to the mind, the power to think and the power to think and to be able to judge what is right or wrong, rather than judging people, but to judge for ourselves what is right or wrong, and choosing the right path, choosing the path which is the desirable path and which we have been given as a guide also. Now if you look at from a religion point of view, whether you look at the Bible, through Catholicism or through the various other religions, whether it is the Hinduism or Islam or Buddhism, whatever religion you see, there are certain things or certain sins which have been described as not to do. For example, the Bible describes the 7 deadly sins and says that these are the ones who disrupt life and create havoc, and they should be avoided at all costs. Now what are these 7 sins? These are pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath or anger, and sloth. So these are the sins which the Bible describes as the ones which are the deadly sins and should be avoided, and these will not lead to salvation, move you away from salvation, and will create havoc in the land, create havoc in your lives, and also will be unproductive for you and spoil the lives of not only you but many others as well. But these are not only described by the Bible, but every religion, any religion that you look into, read the religious texts of those books, they will all say the same thing, that these are sins which should be avoided. Now they all are related to how you think, your ability to be able to judge a situation and act in the most righteous manner, the most logical manner, the most practical manner, and the most ethical manner, while it may be logical or practical. So they all relate to the power of thinking, and thus to the power of the moon, the manas, as various shlokas have described the moon as. I have already made a video of why the moon is the most important planet in the horoscope and what are the areas that it influences and how do we strengthen the moon. Today I want to talk in detail about what are the signs of a weak moon and how do we strengthen the moon so that our lives can be better, we attract more beneficence, we attract the pleasure of the deities, we attract the abundance from the Supreme Lord, and we can lead better lives, we can lead more harmonious lives, and we can lead more happy lives. So let's look at each one of them in the light of the moon. Firstly, the moon being the manas, it also controls or rules the 4th house. The 4th house is the house of domestic peace and mental happiness. So mental happiness will not come to you if the moon is weak. And so what are the signs of a weak moon as in the light of the 7 scenes that I've described, all are related to a weak moon. So first one is pride or excessive pride. Now pride is given to us by the overbearing of our own personalities on us. That means that we think too highly about us. We think that we are the ones who are always right, and we are the ones who should get all the respect, and nobody should insult us, nobody should put us down, nobody should can talk ill about us or talk us down. Sun is more respect to self-respect. So if the moon is weak and if the sun is strong, the ability of the person to think right and create a balance between self-respect and pride or excessive pride is lost. So if a person has excessive pride, the sun may be strong, sun is also an inimical planet, but the moon is weak, because of which the person doesn't know where to draw the line between self-respect and pride. So the first sign of a person that the person's moon is weak is whenever the person has excessive pride, can't take criticism. The smallest of criticism you have for these people, you try to correct their action, you try to correct their method, you try to correct their language, you try to correct their thinking, they will jump at you and they will put you down, they will not listen to you, your relationship may spoil with them. So anybody who has excessive pride and is not able to get to listen to feedback, not able to take criticism sportingly and openly with an open mind, constructively, then the person surely has a weak moon. The second sign of a weak moon is when the person has greed. When the person has such greed that the person is not able to stop himself from wanting more. A strong mind, a strong moon will tell you where to stop and where to draw the line, because the thinking moon will tell you that if you eat more than a certain amount, your health may get affected. You may put on weight, you may lose your health, you may be seen by others as somebody who has greed and who doesn't think about others. Moon, if it's strong, helps you think about others, care about others, support others. Now when you have greed, it means that you are not able to show the care, the support and the balance in what you need and others need, and in that you are not able to show empathy. So whenever you show excessive greed and you are not able to think for others, whenever you think that you need to get the most, even at others' cost, that is the second sign that you have a weak moon, you have a weak mind and you are moving towards greed. So if you have excessive greed and you are not able to think for others, whenever you think about a deal, you don't think about what it means for others, you can't think win-win as Stephen Covey has said, then you have a weak moon, you don't have a balanced mind. The third thing that is important, or the third area which shows that the moon is weak, is that you will show lust. You will lust after intimacy, you will lust after sex, you will lust after the sexual act. You may even lust after those people who are not available to you because they are already in a relationship, or they have refused you, or you are already in a relationship yet you are lusting for others. Now there is a thin boundary between desiring somebody and being lustful for somebody. We all, even when we are married, we do have a situation, we do have our weak areas where we like a celebrity, we follow a celebrity, we may also sometimes imagine about a celebrity, being with them. However, when it becomes lust, where you are not able to give your partner the due respect of being in the relationship, being intimate only with that partner and having all your loyalty towards them, but lusting after, greeding after, or being trying to be intimate and crossing the boundaries and getting into an act where you want to be with a lot of people at the same time, and lust fills you and you are not able to overcome them, then you surely have a weak mind. A lot of people who have a problem with masturbation, for example, or self-pleasure, and not able to draw the line, they will surely have a weak moon. Sometimes the moon in the 8th house can be a sign. Moon in debilitation in the 12th house, weak moon because of negative aspects on it, or in a bad conjunction, can also lead due to excessive masturbation, if any connection to Venus or even to Mars or the 8th house or even the 3rd house comes about. However, lust is surely a strong sign that your moon is weak. The 4th sign that your moon is weak is the being envious of others or envying others. And when you envy others, what are you showing? You are showing that you are not self-satisfied with what you have. You are not able to show gratitude. A grateful person, a person filled with gratitude, will never envy others. Whenever you envy others, whenever you show that you are jealous of them and you can't think right for them, you can't see happiness for them, you can't see other people who are either happier than you or have better than you, maybe a better house, having a better reputation, having a better spouse, having more prospects or material objects that the person has through cars, vehicles and all the gizmos, or has a better education qualification, has more. All of these show that there is definitely a challenge where it comes to having the ability to balance between what you have and what you want, and not envying others and not being jealous of others and being self-satisfied with what you have. It's always good to aspire for more, but the aspiration should also be coupled with what you can do on your own and what resources you can also get by your hard work or from your loved ones. It's okay to get support and material resources even from loved ones, your parents, siblings, whoever, but to be jealous or be envious of others will surely show you have a weak mind. So please, if you have this, please overcome this, because this is not a good habit. The 5th habit which shows that you have a weak moon is gluttony, or which shows that your need for more intake, whether it is of alcohol or any bad habits that you acquire, or excessive smoking or getting into drugs, or not able to, or becoming an alcoholic. All these signs are of being your slave to a certain area of your mind or certain habits of your mind which you are not able to overcome. A person who has a weak moon will fall prey to addiction, will not be able to come out of it. Sometimes you may even be addicted to food. The addiction to food may not be because of high desire for it, but you just can't stop. Some people may take in more food because they have some element of life missing somewhere. They have some emptiness somewhere and they fill that with food. Some people resort to alcoholism. They become an alcoholic, and then the whole life is a bed of thorns, not only for them but for others as well. Drug addiction is something which has spoiled society and destroyed a lot of lives. A lot of people may not get into these, but they try some other things like pills or over-the-counter drugs, or even taking some medicines which after a certain dosage may give them a high. So it's important that we stay away from gluttony, and this is a strong sign that we have a weak moon. So if you have any of these vices, it's important you strengthen the moon, because if you don't strengthen the moon, then you may not be able to get away from it. The 6th habit is about anger or wrath. Having excessive anger or having such anger that it is beyond your control and you're not able to control your anger is a sure sign that you have a weak moon. A person with a weak moon will shout, scream and get into even a fight, even a physical fight with somebody who points a finger to them. Such a person may lose their control, self-control, even at the slightest of situations that they get in. A lot of people who have traffic snarls and they have these road angers, and they are not able to control the anger on the road for small things. If the traffic is not moving, they'll scream, shout, they will honk. What will the person who is in front of you do if you just keep honking? Because the person just in front of you is also caught in the traffic jam. By your sheer honking, the person's car will not move. So the people who do excessive honking when the traffic is moving very slow, or the slightest sign that the person is slowing down, they honk. And in our country and in the subcontinent, many countries around the world, honking is a way of life. But in a lot of Western countries, it is seen as a very, very strong sign of anger, and also a very, very unethical or uncivil practice. So showing anger, showing wrath, getting into fights, putting somebody down, using curses, using abuses, using bad language, using foul language in anger is also a strong sign that your moon is weak. So if you, in your anger, you blurt out things which you may not want to, or you may regret later, or even if you don't regret later, others may not like it, and others may not be supportive of your actions. Others may even tell you that we will not take this, and there are lines which we already know what kind of language is used or can be used or cannot be used in society. Refrain from this. If you get angry at the drop of a hat, or if you get angry, say twice or thrice in a day, even on smallest of small things, especially with family members, colleagues, with the security guard maid, then surely there is a weak moon lurking around. And especially getting aggressive, not being able to control your anger and damaging others, even getting into those areas where you may be risking lives, is a very, very strong sign of a weak moon. The sooner that you take care of your anger, the better, because as you age more and more, it is only going to get worse. The last, which is but not the least, as has been described by the religious books, Bible and others, is sloth or laziness. A person who just doesn't feel the energy to move, doesn't want to move, doesn't want to do things, is a sure sign that the person doesn't have the energy. What is the fourth house? The fourth house is also the house of, as we said, the mental peace, the mind, and also the heart. So if your heart is not into something, your mind is also doesn't want to do. It doesn't give you the energy, it doesn't give you the push to do things. Mars gives you the energy to go and get, and even at a cost of your cool and composed mannerism, and getting it at all costs, and with an aggression, with assertiveness. However, it is the moon which gives you the initial impetus that you want to go and get something. So laziness, not wanting to move, not wanting to do things, procrastinating, not being able to focus on things, not being able to focus on things for long, getting demotivated easily, starting something and immediately stopping things, or not being able to take things to the logical conclusion, leaving things in between, leaving a business in between, leaving projects in between, leaving studies in between, is a sure sign of sloth or laziness. It's okay that you want a break after every 1.5, 2 hours, 3 hours of studying maybe, but not being able to concentrate even for say half an hour to 30 minutes to even 45 minutes to maybe an hour is a strong sign that you are not able to concentrate, you have a weak mind, you are not able to focus, and you are not able to make the move, you have laziness which is pulling you down, you also are procrastinating. So the sooner you are able to take care of these, the better. Now there are other things which affect the moon and it bring the energy down. One is debilitation. If the moon is debilitated by virtue of being in Scorpio, then obviously the moon will show signs that of wear and tear. There will be over emotionality. You become over emotional, you are not able to control your anger, you get into you start crying, or you are too sad, you are just not able to get out of that mental frame. So it's important that when you have a debilitated moon, understanding that you have a debilitated moon, knowing that you will go through ups and downs and emotionality, and calming your mind down. Do a lot of self-talk that I know that I have a weak moon, I need to understand that these things are going to happen to me. It is like when a doctor gives you a medicine and tells you the side effects of the medicine, then we are prepared for it. And so we are able to counter them because we tell, I knew that there will be some, say for example, if when you take painkillers, I know is going to be a drowsiness, I know I am going to feel sleepy. So if you take a pill and you feel sleepy or at work, you may take a cup of coffee, you may walk, you may hum to yourself, you may have a chat with a colleague who peps you up, and then you come back to work. So similarly, When you have signs that you have a debilitated moon, it's important to do a lot of self-talk, meditate, keep calm, keep patience, and act with more vigor, and concentrate more, apply yourself more. If the moon is very close to the sun, then too, because though you may not call the moon combusted, because luminaries have their own strength because of the closeness to the earth, in terms of, especially the moon is closest body to the earth, yet the moon may not be able to exert its influence as strong as it could be when it is further away from the sun, at least 2 houses away from the sun. So if the moon is combusted very close to degrees to the sun, then definitely there will be challenges in terms of how you are able to be level headed, because sun will surely have its influence on the moon, and the person may have more pride, excessive pride than needed. The conjunction with malefics such as Saturn, Mars, and especially Ketu will surely have a huge effect on the moon. Rahu to an extent gives impetus to the moon, but it also forces you into those areas which are more unethical areas rather than ethical areas. You have a brighter mind, you can do good research when Rahu has some association with the moon, either through conjunction or through aspect. However, then the person has to do a lot of self control not to get into unethical practices. So if you have a conjunction with any of the malefics, or any malefic, or at least 2 malefics aspect the moon, then definitely you need to be a little worried, and you need to look at what are the areas that these malefics are aspecting, especially what house the moon is, and if the malefics are aspecting the moon in that particular house, and which particular house the moon rules, both of these will surely be affected, and those areas of your life will be affected. So your actions, if you observe, you will find that the actions around these areas of life will surely be affected, besides the 7 areas that I have talked about, being lazy, being having excessive desire, greed, envy, and so on. Then the other sign, the other placements that can give you a weak moon is also when moon is in the in those houses where the moon is not very comfortable with. For example, moon is not very comfortable with in the 6th house. Moon is not very comfortable in the 8th house, as well as moon is not very comfortable in the 11th and the 12th houses. So the dusthanas, of course, then to an extent the 3rd house, 11th house, and are the areas where the moon is not as strong as comfortable, because of also the signs which represent these houses. So if moon is inside the 3rd house but it's strong, it's exalted, then all the more better. You can give your creative bent of mind, you can be very creative in writing, and so on. But if moon goes into any of these houses, 6th, 8th, 12th house, 3rd or 11th, and in a negative sign and under a negative aspect or a conjunction with a Rahu or a Sun or a Saturn or a Ketu, then definitely there will be challenges in your life. Now, what do we do to overcome the weakness of the moon and strengthen it? Do the opposite of what the 7 sins tell you. So the opposite of pride is humility. Be more humble. The more humble you are, the more self-assured you are, you will be strengthening the moon. The opposite of greed is being more open-hearted, more kind-hearted, being somebody who shares easily, is more charitable. So if you find excessive greed in yourself, force yourself and make a mind to share, to give to others. Look at the things around you, how much do you need them? A simple test is, if you have not used some item in your house for more than 3 to 4 times in a year, or maybe more than 45 minutes in a month, or maybe a few hours in a year, then definitely that thing possibly is of no use for you, and you have just spent money on it to collect it, and you don't have any utility for it. If you can find somebody who has greater utility for it, please give it to them. So be more charitable. It is easier to overcome lust through being somebody who has more chastity, having more chastity and controlling your mind, ensuring that if you have an excessive need for intimacy, be in a relationship with a supporting partner, so that your mind keeps not going towards the lust, towards intimacy, and you are able to better control it. Meditate, have patience, and focus your mind on something important project. Keep yourself busy so that your mind is at ease. To overcome envy, it is more important to have gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. Be thankful for what you have. If you are thankful and grateful for what you have, it's easier to overcome the tendency to be envious of others, to be jealous of others. Be grateful to the Lord, be thankful to the Lord, and be self-assured that you have the things that you want in life. It is good to aspire for more, but not at the cost of being jealous or envying others. So the more grateful you are, the more stronger you will make the moon. And to overcome gluttony or bad habit, it is important to temper yourself. If you can't do without drink, discipline yourself. Make a calendar or maybe a timetable when you can have and how much you can have. Have somebody around you who you give the power authority to stop you. Keep yourself away from drinks, and if need be, practice patience, practice self-control. Keep telling yourself that you need to control, you should not take it. Whenever the need for something comes, have an alternate. Maybe have a drink which is alcohol free but tastes the same. There are a lot of drinks in the market, at least my friends tell me. I am a teetotaler, but my friends tell me there are things in the market which taste the same but they don't give you the high that alcohol gives. So go for that taste, if not in the high, or eat something, or have a peppermint, but stop yourself, or make yourself so busy at the time that you don't feel the need for it. Exercise, keep your mind off, get involved in important projects, or watch a favorite serial, or time yourself according to that. But in whatever way, practice temperance so that you can overcome the need for getting into addiction and bad habits. And to overcome anger, have more patience, develop patience. The more patient you are, the easier you will be able to control your anger. Whenever you are getting too angry, remind yourself or tell yourself that I am getting angry, so you don't reach a threshold when you get out of control. The slightest anger that you face, especially if you can get into uncontrollable anger or rage, tell yourself, see, I am getting angry, I should not get angry, and this can lead to unpleasant situations, so I need to control myself. Breathe more. The more air you breathe, the more blood rushes to your mind. You are able to think more clearly. Drink a lot of water, or just tell the person, I don't want to talk about it now, I'll talk later, or let's agree to disagree. So this is another way of strengthening the mind, strengthening the moon by practicing patience. And to overcome sloth or laziness, practice diligence, practice being on time, being in control of your work, and working on a tight schedule, so that you lose something if you are not able to do. So have this the bet, or maybe an agreement with yourself, that if I don't do this, then I won't be able to do this. So for example, if you watch a favorite show every day, tell yourself that if I don't complete this project on time, if I don't do this particular activity which I need to do everything, for example, if you have taken upon to exercise, so if I don't exercise, I will not watch this favorite show of mine, for example, then you will be forced to go to the gym, and then you will be forced to do that activity, or tell somebody to keep reminding you. So put 3 reminders, put one reminder in the phone, put one reminder on the laptop, tell a loved one to remind you, maybe your spouse or even your kids, and ask your friends, close friend, to keep asking you every few days, are you gymming properly, are you on it or not. So then when constant reminders are there, you are forced by circumstances, forced by people to avoid procrastination and avoid laziness, avoid the need to be a sloth, and to do things. So friends, these are some areas of how you can strengthen the moon. The other things to strengthen the moon is to treat or to have good relations with your mother, because moon represents your mother. So if you have good relations with your mother, you take care of her, you make her feel happy, and you don't be on the wrong side of the mother, or elderly figures, women who are elderly figures who are the age of your mother, taking care of them. Then being more charitable to weaker people, to people who are not able to fend for themselves, especially people who are older and who are of the opposite gender, but also people, small children, and being more charitable, being more caring, being more supportive, donating to causes which makes your heart feel good, strengthen the moon also, because moon also represents the heart. So friends, this is my analysis about how to identify a weak moon and what to do to strengthen your moon, so that you are able to better lead a happy life, a more fulfilled life, a life of opulence, a life where the deities are more supportive of you and shower their prosperity and abundance on you. So friends, like my video, please share this video, and if you want a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. And till some other time, for some other video, this is your friend, astrologer and guide Irfan, signing off. Ciao.